Today is Sunday, May 19th, 2024. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor 46, Week 12.
This is a slightly delayed listener feedback show.
Is.
I had an event yesterday, and it was 8 hours. It was incredibly challenging, and I was mentally spent by the end of it.
Yes.
It started early in the day and went into the afternoon, and I just didn't have enough left. And to top that off, you wrenched your back on Friday, so you weren't in
And all my muscles.
Yeah. weren't in any situation
everywhere.
to do a long sit there.
Yes.
For that. So we're a day off with the listener feedback show that's going to cover the recent penultimate episode and include predictions for the finale. I'm excited to hear what all the super fans have to say and get some updates, get their perspective on things, because it's certainly been a unique and different season, and I think it calls for some different thinking to a degree. So I'm looking forward to some diverse perspectives. What do we got? How many?
19.
19 super fans checked in this week. Is there anything we need to cover before we get started?
I don't believe so.
Okay, let's kick it off with Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. And can I say, wow, another goofball, terrible gameplay, and an idol in his pocket. And it's finally the Q man, right on cue as well. 4 people going home with idol in their pockets. That's going to be a record for sure. Even Mike Renesia, that didn't happen. Even though Eric's thing was the best thing that happened. I'm going to learn magnificent. Oh my goodness, what a goofball Q was. He was as cocky as Venus was last week. Oh my goodness. This should be, again, the idol of misfits, because everyone went home with an idol in their pocket, and Q has joined the elite club there. Wow. And I gotta give credit where it's due. Maria had no idea, which that is, I think, is gonna hurt her a lot, even though she's won 3 challenges. Hats off to Charlie, Kenzie, Liz, even a goofball Ben for pulling it out. And clearly Q had no idea that was going to happen. And you know what I was hoping, guys? I thought Q, right before he was giving his torch to Probst, when they showed him reaching for his pocket there at the end, that he was going to reveal he had an idol. Yeah, but it didn't happen. Definitely. Well, there's still a chance at Final 5 for someone to have an idol. If they're having an advantage thing, we'll see. Ben has no shot at winning. And Liz, I'm glad she got to go on that Chinese reward and with the letters with her daughter, but she doesn't have a chance. It comes down to Maria, Charlie, and Kenzie. And honestly, of the 3, to me, it's Charlie or Kenzie now. Kenzie has not pissed people off. Her social game has been phenomenal. I think if she gets to the end, the only one that wouldn't vote for her maybe is Q. And I don't know about some of those other NAMI folks. I don't know how Tevin or Soda would vote for her. Maria, I don't know, though, because she's rubbed some people the wrong way. Yeah, she's won challenges, and she was on the wrong side of the Q vote. And Charlie now, that was huge getting rid of Q there. I think either he could win or he's going to be second runner-up. Kenzie and him, it's going to be a battle. Maria, I think, is going to be third. And then clearly Ben or Liz will be the goats there, or one of them loses in fire maybe too. Here's hoping to a good finale, and we'll see how Probst is at the reunion with pizza and champagne though. And Q, it looked like he didn't seem bitter, which was great. And I gotta hear his interview interviews, though, about how if he had any inkling, which clearly he didn't. So this should be great, guys. Looking forward to the finale. Take care. Woo!
Whoa, thanks, Pete. Yeah, I thought he was going to pull the idol out and show it to him, too. I remember thinking that.
Yeah.
I didn't comment on it in the recap, but when Pete said that, it reminded me of having that same reaction. I was like, why are you going to do that? Wait for the reveal when you're talking from the jury box.
Like Venus, because they don't know she had one either.
Right. Q he said he got himself right before he got to Ponderosa. He wanted to have a positive experience. So he got himself psyched up the right way. He said they met him with singing and hugs. Well, most of them. And so he said he had a generally positive experience, and that was exactly what he was looking to have, to make some friends and meet everyone outside the game finally from that perspective. I think he engaged in a little bit of revisionist history when he was explaining about his go ahead and vote me out guys moment. He said something that didn't make any sense about making Liz cry, and that reminded him of one of his four sisters, because they're all about her size, and that was to try to protect Tevin because he hadn't done enough to protect him after pulling him into the alliance. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but he was still trying to spin it like, I'm not a quitter. This is just what we do when we feel like we've made a mistake. And he even acknowledged that he didn't tell anyone, and that's why they were really upset, and that's why he messed things up. But he still believed he could win, and I suppose there's some outside chance that could have been possible if he had played an idol and he continued, because he said he would hands down beat anyone in fire. He figured that he would be in the fire making challenge one way or another, and no one really came close to his ability, and he had even demonstrated that.
Well, according to him.
Yes.
We've not heard that from anyone else yet, so until we do, they did talk like Maria was pretty good at fire.
Yeah, Kenzie definitely had a positive response to that, didn't she, in the last episode? And we know Kenzie can, because we saw her make the fire when Ben had his first night terror there, his first panic attack. So she made the fire to try to warm him up and make him feel better. I suspect Charlie can. I seriously doubt someone who put 2 years of strength training into their hands didn't also spend some time learning how to make fire. Yeah.
Now, Liz says she can't, but is she telling the truth?
Oh, I think so. I think she's pretty unprepared in every facet for being out there.
Well, I don't know.
Although things have changed.
That's true.
She's pooped now, so it's a different game.
That's right.
Thanks, Pete. Next up, we got a call from Robert.
Hey, Joanne and Stacey and Survivor fans. This is Robert from Canada calling in with some listener feedback for this episode and hopefully some predictions for the finale of Season 46. As far as the episode goes, I thought it was another great episode, despite being another terrible week for me in JSFL. Going into the episode, and I even said on Facebook, that I was planning on putting Maria as my vote off, although I couldn't shake this feeling that it was going to be Q going home. But instead of going with my gut and putting Q as my vote off, I went with my brain and put Maria instead. And I knew there was a good chance that Maria would win immunity, but I also figured that if she lost, she would definitely go home, and that's certainly how it seems like it would have played out. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And also, unfortunately, the week prior, I used my final save point on Liz, so I was forced to put a save point on Q, so that's another 3-point week for me. I don't know about everyone else, but early in the season, I missed so many good chances to put save points on Q and Venus. I'm kind of shocked that with all the things that Liz is allergic to, she's not actually allergic to Chinese food. It's kind of amazing. It looked like she was enjoying some ginger beef. I don't know how the Survivor players must have felt afterwards. I feel bloated whenever I eat Chinese, and I can only imagine when you have nothing in your stomach and you eat something as heavy as Chinese food, how you feel afterwards. Talk about a food coma. I think Liz, she seems like a lot more enjoyable person to be around when she's had something to eat. It's funny how much my opinions of her had varied this season. At Tribal Council, I was not at all surprised to see Q hold on to his idol, especially given the history of idols this season. I think as soon as he found it, I thought, there's probably a good chance that he sealed his fate. And I understand Q holding on to it a bit more than some of the others, especially Tiffany. I'm not saying it was a smart decision for Q, but holding on to the idol for just one more vote guarantees that you'll at least make it to fire, and that would be a very tough opportunity to throw away by playing it unnecessarily. So I get it, despite not being a good move. As much as we like to critique our favorite show at times for different things, we have to hand it to the camera crew that they do such a good job at times of capturing moments in the game. And I love the moment when Q is getting voted out and they just showed the look on Maria's face. She just looked so somber. She knew in that moment that she lost whatever control she thought she had in that vote and in the game. She lost her number 2 in the game, and she lost her number 1 ally, and he didn't even go home. So for the finale, I think that the 2 frontrunners are fairly obvious. I think Kenzie is a bit of a dark horse. I think if Ben gets voted out next or loses in fire, he could be a jury vote for Kenzie potentially, as well as Tiffany. So who knows? Maybe Kenzie does have a chance to win. I don't think Liz or Ben can win, but I think the winner of the season is very likely the person that wins the next immunity challenge. That's my prediction. And that's it for me. I look forward to everyone else's predictions, and you guys just take care.
Excellent. Thanks, Robert. Kenzie has a phenomenal ally on the jury in Tiffany. I would want Tiffany as an ally.
You bet.
I think she could really pump people up in your favor if she likes you, if if she still had a positive reaction to you.
And if she doesn't.
Yes, it could be equally as bad. So if Ben ends up there and Tiffany's there and Kenzie ends up in final 3, that's formidable. You just don't know how a social vote like that could go.
Well, I do think if they get Maria out, then the smart move would be to take Charlie out.
Sure, absolutely.
And so if the final 3 are Liz and Kenzie and Ben, I think hands down it's Kenzie for the win.
Yes, it won't even be close. I think it'll be unanimous. And I think it might even be
hopefully they'll throw one vote to distinguish that second place.
That's just us being selfish for trying to figure that out for scoring purposes.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Robert. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. This is Rebecca calling from Northern California. Well. Another week, another contestant goes home with an idol in his pocket. Round 4, I didn't really mind that much because I had Q marked as my vote out, and I just was laughing when he got sent home with it in his pocket. I'm beginning to think that this cast is extremely great at blindsides because watching Liz and Kenzie, oh yeah, we'll totally vote for Q. That boy went into that tribal council feeling so secure, and it wasn't because he had a big ego. And yes, some of it was, you really want to save the idol for being in the final 5. It was because he felt so secure, because the other castmates were so good at making him feel secure. Maria made him feel secure. So did Liz, so did Kenzie. And that's some stellar playing. They sold it. Now, I really wanted Maria to be voted out, but of course she won immunity. And going into the final, I feel like Maria is the highest on the chopping block, and if she does not win the first immunity challenge, I truly believe she will be voted out at 5. And if for some reason she's not voted out at 5 and did not win the next immunity challenge, I truly believe she will go to fire. But it's just so hard to tell with this cast. They're so unpredictable in how they play. I believe Maria is the one to get out first. She's playing a great game. She's extremely smart, extremely strategic. I don't know if she went to the end, if she would get a lot of jury votes because she's burned people. She thought that she could use Q as a number, but then she got him too close and she showed people that she was way too enmeshed with him and took him on rewards that he really had no business going on. Kenzie, I could see Kenzie winning because she plays a great social game. Even when Ben wrote her name down, quote unquote, as a mistake, she still was so loving and caring to him. Everybody considers Kenzie a friend. Nobody is talking about voting her out at this moment in time. Great social game. I could 100% see her winning. Right now, I do have her in my winning spot. That could change as the week goes on. Charlie, I love him. He is wonderful. Again, great social game. Great, strong player. Very, very smart. And he bested Maria this week because he had all the other contestants behind him, voting with him based on the strength of his social game. I do not think Liz is going to win. I think she could be a GOAT third place, no vote person. I don't think Ben is going to win. I could see him or Liz going out at fire. It's been a very strange, wacky season. But of course, I've enjoyed it. I am preparing myself to completely lose the side challenge. Thank you very much, guys. I cannot wait to hear what everyone else has to say. And happy weekend, everyone. Thank you, Joanne and Stacy.
Thanks, Rebecca. Good job there. I liked hearing all your analysis, getting your thoughts on how it may play out. Next up, we got a call from Chris.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, Survivor fans. This is Chris in the basement. Hey, Parker. Hey, everyone. I'm sorry that I haven't commented much this season, and I really want to try and come through next week. Survivor's been a great show. For me, it's given me hours of entertainment, and I'm sorry, I just kind of lost my enthusiasm this season. I thought getting in the side challenge would help. It hadn't helped my game any. I'm not very good at JSFL. It's nice to be part of things. I don't really belong because I'm not really a super fan anymore. There's hope. I'm not giving up just yet. Good old Jeff Probst. I'm there for you, buddy. Joanne and Stacy, you've been here for us all this time, and all the callers and all of the great fans. I'm very grateful to y'all. It was tough for me this week. I managed to get 4 points. Yay. And Maria, I had her going, so boy, I was really hating on her the other night, but it looks like she could possibly win it all. I'm hoping that Charlie will. He would be my third choice for USB. At this point in the season, he'd be my number one choice, but that's a moot point. I'm going to let some other people talk now. Joanne and Stacy, you've got a great show. Thank you for being there for us. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you, Chris. Good job.
Bragging. I only got 3 points.
All those points, yeah. Yeah, I understand. This is definitely an odd season, so I know there are people checking out. We've had that happen before with peculiar seasons, so I get that. But you know what? It'll bounce back. We'll get a different group of people who have a different play style, and you'll be right back in there.
And you absolutely do belong.
Mm-hmm. You got the cred for a super fan, no doubt.
And it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a super fan
No.
to play JSFL.
No, absolutely not.
Certainly
or to
not.
participate in the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, you
We
show
would-
up. We appreciate it.
That's right.
Thanks,
You
Chris.
Hang in there, Chris.
Yeah. Next up, we got an email from Tara in New York. Hi, Joanna, Stacy, and fellow super fans. What an incredible season, and once again, another crazy episode. I was jumping up and down, covering my eyes, and generally freaking out watching this week while my friend, a very casual viewer, laughed hysterically at me. Charlie has really grown on me because of his subtle social moves and his ability to hold back until the perfect time to strike while everyone else obsesses about big, immediate resume moves. I was sure he was going. Even when Maria told Q that he was probably safe, I still thought, of course, Q would play the idol. It couldn't really happen again. When it did, how amazing. These people cracked me up. I loved Q for such great TV, but what a great ending to his story after so many fake outs. It also helped that he was my vote out this week. Woo! Maria is a truly awesome player, but opposite to Charlie, who is rising, I think she had a couple big stumbles, and she's probably going to pay the price. I have her going out next. I think Liz will go out in fire making just from some hints we saw. So our final three would be Charlie, Kenzie, and Ben. I'm probably completely wrong with this crew of characters, though. Right now, I have Charlie winning. However, I just heard something kind of interesting that fits with my final three, so I thought I'd bring it up for fun. This is my first and always favorite Survivor podcast, but I've loved this season so much that I've listened to some random others here and there. Someone mentioned a possible tie this season, so the tiebreaker would be the third contestant at the final vote. If Ben is that third person with Kenzie and Charlie tied, Ben would cast the winning vote. I thought that was really interesting considering how they just showed Ben writing her name by mistake and then again showing how compassionate she's been towards him. Now I'm considering a Kenzie win. She would be a great winner as well. Really, there's no one left that would be a horrible winner. I'm loving them all, and I think casting hit it out of the park this season. I'm excited to hear from everyone else after such an epic week. Thanks as always, Joanne and Stacy, for everything. Can't wait for the finale. Thank you, Tara. Great. Enjoyed all of that. Next up, we got a call from TitoBurrito.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. I didn't even finish the episode. I didn't even say my name. This is how out of control. I'm so tired of this non-idol playing fiasco. This is TitoBurrito calling from Massachusetts, from Boston. I am... I guess I can say I'm happy that he's gone, but oh man, this game would have been out of control if he just played his idol. These last few episodes have been good. I've appreciated it. Ever since the post-Banu era of Survivor, we finally got to see these people get into the game. Man, this is a mess. Good on you, Maria. Way to keep controlling the game with your prowess. You're killing it in the challenges. Charlie, way to keep in contact with everyone, keep in touch with everyone, keep everyone's gears moving, and also keep everything open. Keep your alliance options open. But come on, people. Just play the idol for no reason. At this point, just play it for no reason. I think someone had mentioned this before, that they were fearful that not this next season that comes up, but the season after that, because people have now been conditioned after this, everyone not playing their idol, that season, everyone's just going to play their idols so frequently. That seems much more plausible now after, what was it, 4 in a row almost of idols just not being played. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting. I am still rooting for Charlie. I already had, since 4 episodes ago, said, wow, Charlie's in a great place. Charlie is actually one of the people that I think I can root for at the end of the day. And now I'm going to add Maria to that list, but still Team Charlie, and everyone else can go home. Just kidding, but not really. TitoBurrito is probably going to close it out here and actually watch the last minute of the episode now that I've gotten this all out. Bye, I guess, or maybe more to come. Oh, and I guess this is literally just a matter of me pressing pause on my screen out of frustration, mainly by the fact that, again, people are still not playing their idols. But truly an observation. The jury is highly melanated, specifically, other than, I guess, Hunter, who brought the pizzazz during the challenges and was just too strong, so he's just there by the nature of his being really too strong. But very, very, very melanated jury. Just an observation. But otherwise, Survivor, woo, microcosm of the planet and the earth and how people maneuver, woo. Oh, and in the last few milliseconds I have, please let's not have another Gabler. We cannot have Liz win this game.
What a funny note to end on. Okay.
I really like it when we get to see people's real emotions.
Yes.
When they're so upset, they call in before they finish. It's
Even
like,
that-
I've just
yeah.
got to get this out.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm glad we could be here for
Yes.
you. That was great.
Thanks, Tito. Next up, we got a call from Brandon.
Hey, what's up, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans? Brandon from Cleveland. I just want to apologize. I know this year I said I was going to try to call in more and give more feedback, but I just still have been so off with the schedule. I'm watching the show with somebody, and if our schedules don't line up, it kind of throws everything off. And plus, I've been sick this week and delirious, and so I forgot to get my picks in. So I was messing with my fantasy stuff. I still haven't even seen this past week's episode. I'm hoping to watch it later on tonight. I already told the person that I usually watch with that probably not going to be able to watch this next episode with them, possibly even the finale, just because I want to make sure I have my stuff ready for at least the final set of picks and be able to listen and respond to that feedback just in case I win or lose the challenge. So I'm going to try to be able to have some feedback at least for the finale, have my picks in and be caught up. But again, I apologize for not being as participatory as I said I was at the beginning of the season. Things just haven't lined up well enough. But my prediction to win the season right now, I'm going off of last week's episode, so I don't know who was eliminated this weekend, but I think it's Charlie, even though maybe Maria is my USB. Anyway, I will talk to you guys next week. Peace.
Thanks, Brandon. Oh, buddy, you sound rough. That's a serious head cold.
Yeah, feel better.
Yeah. Next up, we got a call from Drew.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. I remember just in time to send in my feedback. So, yeah, I literally put Q safe this week, but I'm not sorry to lose the safe point because, my gosh, what a terrible, I don't want to say waste of player space. It's just so frustrating. I mean, I could go all over again what I went into last week. I don't really need to. I think you get the picture. It's just because now he's acting like he's like just playing so hardcore when before he's talking about walking off or telling everyone to vote for him. I just don't really think he's in it. I don't think he gets it. I don't think he's in it. So bye and good riddance. But maybe now the finale could be kind of interesting to see. Even Liz being there would be, I mean, she'd be kind of like a third place, no votes. I kind of think at this point, I guess depending on who else is there, but maybe Ben could be similar. If Ben and Liz are there with anybody, then the other person is guaranteed. It's kind of funny. I wouldn't mind a Maria win. I wouldn't mind a Charlie win. For sure, I wouldn't mind a Charlie win. I think he's my top pick. It'd be interesting to hear the jury, what they have to say, because they're all there because of really, really terrible gameplay decisions. So, I mean, they have hardly any defense against the people who voted him out. It's like, you could have saved yourself. You're the one who voted yourself out. So it'll be good to see. I was glad to see Liz eat, though. To be honest, she didn't seem as excited as I expected. I thought she'd be on the floor writing in absolute relief, but who knows. By the way, if anyone else is watching The Amazing Race, we just watched the finale, and wow, that was a disappointing season. Wow. I don't know. Maybe it's just timing for both of these shows is not good right now. So still looking forward to the finale. I'm upper middle level in the side challenge, so I'll take that. And everyone have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Drew.
I love the season.
The Amazing Race season.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. We had a different reaction for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely, going back to what Drew said, they've definitely at least given us some moments with Liz so that she can be in the running to a degree. Like the turn, you're supposed to say, wow, look at this turn in Liz's game and her approach to everything and how things are moving different and how she was critical in several votes. And
well, you have to give Liz credit for being able to put aside her feelings for Q, all these votes.
Several votes.
And realizing that he's not as big a threat as this person. Okay, fine, I can wait.
Who else might deserve credit for that?
For waiting?
No, for Liz's votes. Maria. She reached out to Liz both times and made the case and helped sway her.
I think a lot of people reached out to her. But yes,
we were shown,
they did show us that.
I think our takeaway is supposed to be that Maria was most significant in that regard. So
that was the edit. Mm-hmm. I don't know that was all of it, but it was the edit. You're right.
Yeah. Thanks, Drew. Next up, we got a call from David.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. It's David in Pittsburgh, soon to be David in Cairo. We leave for our cruise on the Nile on Tuesday, which means this will be my last call-in to you before next season. Bummer. So I'm going to just have to avoid anything online, see if I can not be spoiled on who actually wins this season. But I have a couple comments to make before I go. I just wanted to say that whoever cast this season, I think needs to find another job. When we started off in the beginning, we had so many clueless players leaving one right after the other, from Jelinski to Jem to a USB who shall remain nameless. I like seeing the early alliances, but most of them fell apart. Charlie and his Angels pretty quickly gone, and the +1 alliance, which I thought was a brilliant move on Q's part, and then that started disintegrating, and even Q went for his number one. So I just don't understand the way people are playing. I have to say, I really like this season. I just don't get the season. Now we're dealing with players, with idols going out one after the other. Of all of them, I thought Hunter made the biggest blunder. He miscalculated. He knew how close it was going to be. He should have played the idol. And just as with Q, he and Maria, if they're going to make a shot at Charlie or anyone, take the shot. Don't leave any room for error. They should have played the idol, especially since why they would believe Liz and Kenzie, I have no clue. So again, is this good strategic play we're seeing, or just one player after the other not really playing a good strategic game? Except for Maria and Charlie, I just don't see any of the other players left, even the past couple of weeks, having a story to tell. And all this talk about resume is doing nothing for them because they're shooting themselves in the foot to try to get some points with the jury. So once again, Joe and Stacey, thank you for giving us a community where we can get together, share opinions and predictions, and of course, hear your commentary. Your podcast is the first thing I look forward to listening to after I watch the episode of Survivor. And for anybody out there who's just envying me and saying, oh, he's so lucky he's going to Egypt, I'll just leave you with this. The temperatures have been over 110 degrees, and as we go down to Aswan, they're going to be about 120 degrees. As everyone says, it's dry heat. And as somebody else pointed out, yes, so is the heat in your oven, but I'm not going to stick my head in it. Anyway, talk to you guys in September. Bye.
Thanks, David. Appreciate you making that effort to get something in before the end. As someone who's been outside in 120 degree heat in Arizona in the summer, I can tell you it's rough. It's very rough, and it will not matter that it's a dry heat at all. That was when I was very young and able to do that, but I didn't have a car, and the only way I could get around was on a bicycle or to get a ride with someone. And so that getting to experience that, especially like at night, where it doesn't get below 100, is a whole different world than what you're used to.
Well, try to have a wonderful trip, David.
Yeah, I think
and
it's going to be exciting.
Charlie is trying to get rid of his last angel.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one, babe. Next up, we got an email from Thomas in Toronto, Canada.
It's been a few weeks since I've left feedback, mainly because I wasn't sure what to say or was thinking too much about giving a really long response. This week's episode was crazy, and I almost lost my USB again, had it not been for yet another person going home with an idol in their pocket. Maria and Q had way too much confidence in their plan going into tribal, though, and it showed that Q didn't read the room and play his idol. Hopefully the finale goes well and we have a good winner. All right, thanks, Thomas.
Yeah, I like that highlight. I like looking at it that way because you could see, I think the extra time really gave us the opportunity to see why they had that overconfidence.
Right.
And you got to see her celebrating. Oh, I'm feasting on these wins that we're getting, and this is so delicious, and I want to do it again. And it's that classic overconfidence that the Survivor gods just detest.
Yes, she was so excited about voting Charlie out.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Thomas. Next up, we got a call from Shahin.
Hi, Joe and Stacey and to all the Survivor fans. Hope everyone's well and safe. Have you ever seen a guy with like just the most biggest grin ever, really smug, and then it suddenly just turns into a frown and he just walks off really quietly, doesn't even address the crowd, and he just walks. And that's what happened this week, and how entertaining, how good, and to come up and of sorts. And I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. Not because of JSFL. I'm terrible. I don't know. I actually had a 4-point week. That was okay. After 2 3-point weeks in a row, I think this week was a bit of a rebound. But yeah, apart from that, that's separation of sorts from Maria and Charlie. We knew that had to happen for their games to evolve, and it's funny that it happened to coincide at the same time. You know, we've seen couples in the past or power duos that have had to separate without one finding out about the other, and then I love the duality of it in this episode where production highlighted that both were thinking of it at the same time and both were hoping like, well, I hope the other one doesn't find out that I'm doing this against them, or will they know? And I found that quite entertaining, and yeah, it was a good episode, I think, after the last few weeks. But yes, we did have someone exit with an idol in their pocket once again, highlighting just some derisory gameplay, especially when you got your name out there. Overall, I was pretty happy with the way things panned out, but I'm a bit more excited now for what could happen. I'm really, really banking on Charlie to make it through. But I think Maria has just lost some points in the last couple of weeks. I hated her crying and just, it looked like a show to me at the start of the episode with her bringing Venus back up again. It's some sort of punching bag again. The girl is out of the game. Leave her alone, bro. It's just crazy. And I just thought that was just some sort of I don't know, it was a visceral reaction of sorts. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, I think Charlie, for me, just feels like the deserved winner of this season with the way that he's been able to play the game. His gameplay has been just great. Maria's been not far behind, but she's just lost points in the last couple of weeks, especially with her decision with Liz as well. So it's really interesting to see who wins this challenge at 5. And I think whoever does, because I don't think it'll be like Liz, and I don't think it'll be Kenzie. I think it'll be one of Charlie or Maria, and then whoever does, they will control the vote, and I think they will then win from then on. I just have a good feeling about that, because I think they'll win fire too. I just have a feeling which one of them two will make it to the final 3. And in that case, we're going to have, I guess, a worthy winner, because even if I don't like her, she's been a good player, and Charlie's been a bit of a hero in my eyes. So I hope he wins. I hope he really wins, and hopefully it gives us a good winner to the season. Thanks for what you do. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Shahin. Yeah, I'm feeling that pull towards Charlie too. I can also see still making a case for Maria. Maybe she'll rally. If she's able to win at 5 and 4, then she's got herself there for sure. And there's absolutely a story she can tell. Again, it comes down to how she's received socially, and so hard to tell. Seems like Charlie's socially just heads and shoulders above her at this point, but you never know how it plays out, and who knows, you could end up having them face off at the end. It just depends on how the votes go and who wins fire. He could still be there if he doesn't get her at 5. Good stuff. Thanks, Shahin. Next up, we got a call from Kim.
Hey, Survivor fans. This is Kim from North Carolina. Well, I got my wish and Q is gone. But of course, I foolishly did not put him as my vote out pick because I thought they would just keep him around. And he left with an idol. What a ridiculous thing. Well, if Charlie wins, I'm okay with it. If Kinsey wins, I'm okay with it. I kind of hope Kinsey wins. I don't think Maria's going to win, but I think she could do all the immunities and then do fire and actually win because she played the best game. I don't know. I can't wait to watch it. Good luck, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, Kim. Yeah, it could totally go out that way, couldn't it? Yep, totally see that. Good stuff. Next up, we got a call from Chris.
Hi, Joy and Stacy. It's Chris from Minneapolis calling. I have to say, last week's episode was by far my favorite of the season. I think it's the reason we watch Survivor. The strategy, the back and forth between Maria and Charlie, what they thought the other one was going to do. Just awesome television. And then on top of it, you get Q has an idol fall in his lap, and it just, the way they edited it, I thought was fantastic. And when Q doesn't play his idol, and you know what all the votes are, it just was just great Survivor play. Just loved every minute of it. You look at those moments, I think some people say Q had no path to victory, but I mean, I think if he plays that idol, you never know. It definitely, I think, turned things on its head, and now I think it opens, the path is clear, I think, for Charlie in my mind to win the game. Because I feel that as far as Final 5, I think Maria, if she doesn't win immunity, I think she's going to be out at 5. I think Kenzie's going to lose at fire. I'm not really sure. Gets to the final vote, Liz and Ben, who's going to vote for them? You never know. Charlie could do a clean sweep, possibly. I'm not really sure what to do with second and third place. Overall, I've been really happy with the way the Maria and Charlie thing played out. I thought possibly they could do the old school Survivor and go to the end and battle it out between the two, but clearly they decided, I think it's kind of the newer school where they know they got to get their main ally has to leave at some point. And so, yeah, it's just fabulous TV. So thanks for all you do. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, glad to hear you enjoyed it so much. There's definitely a different way of looking at the season that we're dealing with in 46. And there's no lack of TV moments. I've been thinking about that a lot and how to weigh that over what I enjoy most about watching Survivor gameplay. It's an interesting shift, a pivot. I think Probst has been hyper successful in his goal to TV moments. This is like the culmination, the realization of his TV moments approach to Survivor, I think. Good stuff. Thanks, Chris. Next up, we got a call from Justin.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and all the Survivor superfans. It's Justin from Michigan. Well, it finally happened. My USB Q goes home, and again, with an idol in his pocket. To quote Q, he made a big mistake, and it just backfired on him. I think he should have just played it. He shouldn't have even told Maria about it. That would have been the power move, to just create a plan. Don't tell anybody about your idol. Play your idol on yourself. If you did have the numbers, you didn't need it, but you figure that out next week or the next day. With saving it, you're just putting way too much trust in these people who have shown the ability to blindside. And again, it doesn't seem like good gameplay by these people going out, but I think it does speak to the people around that they are making everybody trust and believe in a plan, and they're doing a good job of selling it. So I give the 5 remaining players a lot of credit. How I think it'll shake out, I think if Charlie doesn't win immunity, he will be 5th place. And then I think Maria might go on a run and just win the next 2. And I think she would put Kenzie in the fire making with Ben. And I think Ben would lose that. And then I think it would be Maria winning. Kenzie would get a few votes. I think it's going to be close between Maria and Kenzie if this shakes out. And then Liz, 0 vote, 3rd place. So that's what I have. I'm looking forward to what everyone else has to say. Sad to see Q go. He's a good character, kept the season entertaining. We saw a lot of him. I'm sure he'll be back, possibly for season 50. So looking forward to what everyone else has to say, and that's what I'm sticking to for now. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. What a happy thought, seeing him again in 50. I will say you're trying to decide, and we've been going back and forth in the podcast about this for a couple of episodes now, right? Is it great gameplay? Is it poor gameplay? Is it a mix? Q was saying in his exit interviews, he had decided prior to going to tribal council, he would not play it because he saw his path to victory by playing it at 5. And so he had made up his mind. So was it really that convincing by the other people, or was it his decision that was more influenced the outcome? And to me, that would then speak to, again, really poor gameplay like we've seen with the other folk. Yeah, it's interesting to think about, and I'm sure we're in for more. Good stuff. Thanks, Justin. Next up, we've got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, we finally reached the finale. I'm cheering for Charlie, but I can see paths where Ben, Kenzie, and Liz are the final 3. I'm hoping that's not the case, as I find their games too passive. My other observations: Q couldn't spell Venus. Neither could Ben. Right, yeah, he spelled it Kenzie, didn't he? If 5 players in a row get voted out with idols in their pockets, is that a straight flush? That's some really bad Survivor poker for sure. Ben told a really dumb truth about voting for Kenzie because, Ben, Maria has 3 immunity wins, 2 number 1s, and a blindside. Does she also have a partridge in a pear tree? Ben's been having night terrors and panic attacks. He's afraid Banu might return. Yeah, he's not the only one. A lot of people have been dreading that. All of this talk about Liz's BMs has got me pooped. Perfect dad joke. Ben's breaking down physically and mentally. If we weren't on day 23, I'd expect to quit. Indeed. Liz is at 11. I just hope she doesn't turn out like one of Spinal Tap's drummers. Kenzie's been caring for Ben. She's working on a merit badge for the Scouts. Charlie's game is all about options. That sounds like the menu for Chinese takeout. Ben thanks heaps for giving me a pinball wizard earworm. I was really, they missed an opportunity to cut for that, even just briefly, right? I was really impressed by Liz's crane-style kung fu during the table maze. Kenzie went to Fiji, avoiding her wedding day. Will she be in a reboot of Runaway Bride? Charlie's girlfriend knows that the way to his heart is by quoting Taylor Swift. The Chinese takeout trio took out Q from the game. We now have Uncle Charlie, so we've gone from Andy Griffith to My Three Sons? Ooh, nice callback. Nice reference there. Q's hand hurts and a storm may be coming. Does he have arthritis? Idols can only be played until Final 5. Would finding one now finally get it played? I think it would. Q, well, I guess it probably depends on who finds it, though. Q found the idol and got the juice. Was it Kickapoo Joy Juice? The puzzle was a dolphin standing on its tail. If Ben had won, he would have stood the game on its head. Maria's on fire, and Maria makes fire. Foreshadowing for the fire challenge? Jeff didn't bring popcorn or licorice to tribal council. He's a bad host. What was up with Kenzie's eye flowers? Has she become a hippie? She definitely had some deep hippie vibes, didn't she? We were talking about that when we were rewatching it. With 8 jurors and potentially a no-vote goat, the final jury tally could be several to 1-0. Nice working that in. Kenzie's weird, dysfunctional family. Q and Ben are her brothers. Maria is her aunt who cooks. Liz is the cynical grandma. Charlie is the dependable dog. Sounds like a sitcom. Ben got drunk on pizza. They must ferment the cheese in Fiji. Everyone's a seasoned player by day 22. I don't think bathing in salt water counts. The editors got me. I was sure Q would play his idol since they'd shown the votes. I'm glad that Chinese takeout didn't turn out to be Charlie's last meal. Fiji Daily Times headline, Q's quixotic quest quashed. That's beautiful. I love the alliteration there. If there's a Ghost Island 2 season, one or more of season 46 idols might be there. Hey, maybe all of them. Q was unable to skirt by again, so he finally went home. Oh, that's a little bit of a stinker, but it works. Maria's heart broke in 3. She's good at puzzles. Can't she put it back together? Liz knows that getting picked is definitely better than getting pissed. Maria's reward pact with Charlie was like the time my mom swore she didn't want to party, then weeks later asked me what to wear. Uh-oh. Kenzie was worried about her business. Liz uses spam bots, which don't need oversight. Keeping baby bears from Mama Bear could have landed Charlie in deep porridge. Next time, the finale, Kenzie's a secret assassin, Maria's going for it, Ben's vibing, Charlie's so close, Liz says holy hot dog on a stick. This could be good. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Good job. Nailed it. Next up, we got a call from Jade-n-Christine.
Hi, Joanne and Stacey. It's Jade.
And Christine.
From Hawaii.
Aloha.
So this was definitely an interesting episode. I know that some people are saying they don't really buy Ben's excuse that he didn't know what he was doing, but I actually think that he really wrote down Kenzie's name on accident. I think it was a blank. So I have had panic attacks and anxiety. And when you have an extended period where you're having an increased amount of anxiety like Ben has, your cognitive functioning is so low. Like you cannot think straight. And I have done some really dumb things while experiencing that because I'm just so spacey. And that combined with his lack of food and lack of sleep, I think it's totally possible. I definitely think that he just did it on accident.
Yeah, he talks a lot about how he's feeling his body's just like doing its own thing. It's just actually betraying his thoughts. Like he can't really control what his body's doing.
Yeah, poor thing. Yeah. But Q found an idol.
Yes. And Jade sent me a text. We were watching it together and just texting each other. And she's like, he's out.
Yeah, I was like, Q found an idol. He's out.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. And I really thought he would play it. Up until that moment that Jeff read the votes, I thought he would play it. Yeah. They were showing us what everybody voted, so I'm like, they're showing us that because they're going to show us like how many votes don't count or won't count. But he didn't play it. I was shocked. Oh my gosh.
That's the curse of season 46, I guess.
It's such a weird thing. Yeah. Do you think that Maria turning could have been influenced by Charlie not choosing her for reward? You know, she was really emotional about that.
I don't know. Maybe subconsciously?
Yeah, she seemed like really ready to flip.
Yeah,
as soon as
that's the moment that she decides, like, maybe it's time to get Charlie out.
Yeah, that was it was sad.
Yeah.
The two of them could have gone all the way. Maybe,
I know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think Maria and Charlie are definitely the top two right now. But I have no idea who's going to win because it all depends on who wins immunity.
That's
at
right.
Final Five.
Yeah, anybody could win immunity. Maybe even Ben's in the running there. We've seen him.
I doubt it, but
yeah.
Poor Ben.
Yeah. Well, the best case would be Charlie, Maria, and Kenzie in the final three to battle it out.
Great final three.
That would be a great final three.
Yeah.
But I think it might end up to be Charlie with Ben and Liz or Maria with Ben and Liz.
That seems more likely. Yeah, but no matter what, we're going to enjoy watching the finale.
Yes, can't wait to hear from you guys.
Excellent. Thanks, Jade-n-Christine. Thanks for sharing your own personal experience with the panic attacks and sharing how much that can impact you mentally. But in any case, I think Ben is he's far, far into the bless his heart territory at this point. So I don't expect a whole lot out of him. But who knows? He may still have a surprise for us before it's done. Next up, we got a call from Jill.
I'm going to take my live reaction because I don't trust Q not to do something crazy. Oh, you're kidding. Oh.
All right, I'll read the vote.
Oh, my God. Okay, so it's just finished and I am blown away. I'm struggling to even find the words as to how stupid the players have been this season. 4 weeks in a row. Yeah. It is just crazy. And Q, like the one who's been voted for every other week, he is the one that didn't play an idol when he had one. I follow a few Survivor people on Instagram and oh, God, how many of them were saying what a wonderful season it is, what a great cast it is. I just cannot believe that anyone thinks this is a good season. Okay, like the cast, there's lovely people in it, but, oh, my God. I think this just automatically goes down to the bottom of my list. Liz and Ben haven't done anything strategic all season. Maria annoyed me last week with picking for her reward challenge. So Kenzie and Charlie, fight it out, guys. I hope one of them win it and they go on and do wonderful things with $1 million. I'll leave this recording for now, have a listen to you guys and see if I need to add anything else. What a crazy episode. Here we are, it's the next day. I'm not sure if I really have anything else to add because I'm still blown away by it all. But I just sort of wanted to think about Kenzie. Putting her and Charlie on the same footing seems wrong, but while she hasn't had the strategic game that Charlie's had, I think her social game has been out of this world. What she's done with Ben, she was friendly with Hunter, she's been friendly with a really lot of people. And I think if she gets up there on tribal council and she's against the likes of Liz and Ben, she's going to get a lot of votes. If Charlie doesn't make it and Maria does, there's a few people that don't like Maria, didn't like her attitude, didn't like her actions, and so they're going to vote for Kenzie as well. Interesting times. Okay, thanks for everything, Joanne, Stacey. Happy days, everyone. Bye.
Excellent. Thanks, Jill. I enjoyed hearing your reaction and then your extra thoughts there.
Yep.
Who is Charlie going to vote for if he ends up in the jury and Maria and Kenzie are there?
I think he'll vote for Maria.
Probably. He'll respect
He'll
the
respect
gameplay.
her gameplay. And he was doing the same thing, so he can't hold that against her, really.
Yeah, I guess it would go that way.
I think he would. I think
I'm
he
trying to think,
genuinely cares about
like
her
a lot
and
of
vice versa.
Like a lot of people are talking about, of course, getting voted out can heavily influence how much you genuinely care in the moment.
It can.
Sometimes you need perspective for that to reset to the proper level.
That is true, but I still think he would.
The social game usually trumps, but you never know until the votes are read, how this group, and this is part of what's so great about Survivors, you don't know what they're valuing. You get hints, you get little glimpses of it, even with the extra time, but you never truly know how things are playing out. And they've gotten smarter about the edits. They don't let you hear what people are saying when they vote, normally. This was an exception, obviously, in this last episode, but we used to glean a lot of extra information from that. They used to put out up to 20 extra minutes of footage.
That's why
they
quit doing it, I think.
Yes, and I think it's the same thing with the Ponderosa. You got a lot of insight into how things were going to play out. And if we've seen anything, it's that they are deeply in control of the narrative. And so they've made changes to give them the most leverage on the narrative and the story they decide to spin once they start working backwards. So it's hard to say for sure, but certainly Kenzie's social game, the only one who would seem to come close to it is Charlie, given what we've seen.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Good stuff. Thanks, Jill. Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
4 in a row. Are you serious? Hello, everybody. It's Jeremiah here with some feedback. And wow, I have no words. I have no words for this group. One thing I can say is next time that someone goes home with an idol in their pocket, I'm just going to say, wow, they 46'd that, didn't they? I co-sign with what you all said. I laughed so hard that this whole thing got booked in with Q. The fact that everyone who went before him with idols in their pocket thought he was the target vote, and now Q is actually the one to go home with an idol in his pocket. Such great television. Yeah, Maria has been amazing all season, but she definitely got played here, which is a shame. She should have at least anticipated that this was a possibility and try to convince Q, of course, to play that idol to make sure that her plan worked. Now, Q, on the other hand, I was not surprised at all that he made a foolish move. This guy's ego is so big, and he doesn't think too well. He's shown us enough throughout the season. He's not that good at the game. During his exit interviews, he was so worried. He talked about making sure he got to 4. Well, hello, buddy. Listen, you go ahead and play the idol to make sure you get to 5. You know that Maria is going to be a huge target, and you're probably making it to the final 4 no matter what, because they'll go after her. To me, though, I think the biggest blunder was Ben, Liz, and Kenzie by not taking Maria up on the fact to get rid of Charlie. That makes a lot more sense to get rid of Charlie over Q, since Q has no chance of winning and Charlie could potentially win. Now they're going to have to hope that they can get both Maria and Charlie out before the final 3. I do think the fact that they don't look at Charlie as big of a threat is kind of interesting, even though I do think they wanted to just get Q out because of their own egos. But he has played such a low-profile game. The only concern I have for him is, will they take him seriously enough if he's in the finale or in the final 3 seats to give them the money? That's what I'm wondering about, because we all know how well Charlie's playing as an audience, but do they know? Has he played too low of a profile? Well, if he's sitting in those final 3 seats with some people, that will be interesting to see. And that's where we're at. What is going to happen next week? Well, it's obvious that Maria's target number 1, and that's who I currently have going at 5th. The big question is now, who's going to be doing the fire? Well, you'd assume Charlie, since he's so good at the challenges, another reason to get rid of him this past vote, it would probably win that one. And then who does he put in it? Ben and Kenzie? Liz? I mean, Liz is terrible. Or will he put himself in the fire? That would be interesting. There's a million different scenarios we could think about when it comes to that final 4 spot. At the moment, I kind of lean towards Charlie putting Ben and Kenzie against each other, where Kenzie just ever so slightly beats Ben, and then Ben becomes the deciding vote to help Kenzie win. To me, that'd be a great payoff to all the stuff we've been seeing with Kenzie taking care of Ben. So that's my prediction for now. We'll have to see what happens. And yeah, that's it for me. You all take care. Until next time, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
Excellent analysis as always.
Yep. That I could see that happen.
With the Kenzie win because of that? Yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise, why are they showing it so much?
Well, to give us an option.
Well, yeah.
They're good at trying to find reasons for you to think it's possible.
Will he go this way? Will he go that way?
Right. And I think
it's a tie.
I think Jeremiah was highlighting the importance and the impact of the social connections there in their desire to get Q, although strategically, yes, I agree with Jeremiah, it would have been much better to go after Charlie, but there was a emotional element that came from the social interactions that made them want to go after Q, even though it was a high risk play, because if he did have an idol, which they had not factored in, they had decided no way possible for him to have it, don't need to worry about it. If he had played it, then they would have relinquished control and Charlie would have gone for sure in that space. But it was Charlie's social game that helped make that possible, that they got Q when he overcommitted and didn't play as idol. That's the impact of the social game right there. Good stuff. Thanks, Jeremiah. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California. So I want to start off by saying that I think that this was the best episode of the season. It's funny that I've been yearning for an idol to be played successfully all season, but last episode, it would have been my nightmare. I did not want Charlie to go. I typed little notes as I watched so I can remember things for the podcast, and my screen went from my typical bullet points to desperate ramblings in all caps. My emotional investment in the outcome was high. Maria was so upset that Venus called her decision on the reward challenge a farce, but that was true, though. Venus's perspective on the situation was absolutely legit, and I think Maria was just upset and stung that Venus spoke the truth. I mean, I get why Maria's upset. I would have been in tears, too, if I were in Maria's situation, but the optics on it weren't good, and Venus just called it out. At night, we were shown that Ben is continuing to really struggle with panic attacks, and Kenzie is the sweetest person in the whole world. I just love her. The next morning, that sunrise was beautiful. Yeah. Gorgeous, majestic, but why are we celebrating Liz taking a dump? This is the stuff about Survivor experiences that I'm sure happens every season, but that we don't need to see. The focus on scatology is just gross. But thanks for the shout out, Joanna and Stacy. Appreciate it. Wink. But I digress. So I want to leave some time at the end for my predictions. So I will just say about this episode that everything was phenomenal. The strategy, the confessionals, the editing, the suspense, everything I love about Survivor. Everyone left in this game is playing and playing hard. So what do I think will happen next? Well, Maria has some major explaining and damage control to do when she gets back to camp. Charlie will respect the move, but trust is now gone between them. I think that one more immunity idol is out there to be found, and who will find it, I could not predict. I think that Charlie will win Final 5 immunity, and Maria, if she doesn't find an idol, will be voted out. I think Charlie will also win Final 4 immunity and bring Liz with him, leaving Ben and Kenzie to make fire. I have no idea who will win that one. I'm going to guess Kenzie, and beyond that, I have no clue who will win. The jury as it stands now, if Charlie and Kenzie are there together, I can see 3 votes for Kenzie and 3 votes for Charlie. It really depends on who else is on the jury. Kenzie and Charlie have both been wonderful narrators of the season. They both have high likability. I would be happy if either one of them wins. Going with my gut, I'm going to say Charlie wins. So Kenzie 2nd, Liz 3rd, Ben 4th, and Maria 5th. But then I think with Ben and Maria on the jury, that will make it a 4-4 tie, with Liz casting the final vote. I think I'm still going to go and give it to Charlie by a hair because he gave Liz the family letters reward. Well, that's it for me. I can't wait to hear all of your predictions and to watch the finale. Here's hoping the season ends on a strong note. Till next week.
Thanks, Jen. Wow, that's a lot to think about right at the end there.
I was looking down at my choice and went, oh, maybe I should change those 2 people.
Yeah, rethink that.
Yeah, switch those positions. I had also firmly believed there will be an idol that comes back in.
Well, they do show them hunting for something, but we also know historically in the 40s, it's an advantage to be used in the Final 5 challenge, giving you like a skip on one stage of the challenge or less knots to untie,
but
something like that.
But that's when they go to another island as well.
It has been paired with that historically in 41 through 45.
But because you can play an idol up until Final 5.
They would have to be tempted to put another one out there given what's happened.
Come on. They're going to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're going to do it.
I think that's a really solid prediction you got going there.
You know they're eating this up.
Yes.
And I think they're going to do it because they would normally do it.
And this one will get played. This one will get played. I think
this one will absolutely be played.
What if it's Liz that has it? Will she play it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be like, I was the only one who played an idol.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to want to play it just so they can have that, right?
I don't know if Liz could find it while she's sleeping in the shelter.
Right. She's not motivated to look for it at all.
Motivated, no.
Given what we've been shown.
She might be now.
Yeah.
But I do think I think somebody will play it. Whoever finds it. Just hopefully not Maria. But
the thing I wrestle with the most is we've seen how motivated Maria gets when her back's against the wall, when she gets pushed a little, she really turns it on in immunity challenges.
But I think this is going to be so upsetting because we know that when Venus said something to her,
the farce,
boy, she reacted.
Yeah,
and was maligning my character and blah blah,
dragging me through the mud.
So now she's going to be very much more conscious of how she's going to be seen because she did her best to take Charlie out, and now she's got to face it.
And failed. Yeah, it's going to be so fascinating. This is such a huge test for her. So late in the game to see if she can find a way to recover.
Yes, because they're all going to be looking at her like, you're the outsider. You're the villain we want to get out of here, blah, blah, blah.
You're the one that we're all jinxing, saying don't win this immunity.
And I think that might throw her off her game. Therefore, I've got her going out 5th.
What if they coordinate? We've seen some coordination at Final 5 challenges.
That's
where
true.
People have come over to help someone else just so this other person won't win. Will be immune.
Yep. Well, my Final 5 order right now, though Jen, I think, might have changed that.
She shook it a bit, the foundation
she shook it up
with
a
that.
bit,
Yeah.
Okay, I had Maria, Liz, Ben, Kinsey, and Charlie for the win. So Charlie would be first, Kinsey second, Ben third, Liz fourth, and Maria fifth. But I
see the appeal
like
of that.
Jen's point and switching Liz and Ben too.
With Liz being a tiebreaker.
But
yeah, because we had someone else talking about, was it Tara that was talking about listening to another podcast where they're talking about the potential of a tie coming up again.
If whoever won pitted, say, Kinsey and Ben instead of pitting anyone against Liz. I was just thinking Liz would go into fire and she would lose.
Right.
But I kind of like that, what Jen was saying. So
yeah, there's definitely
now
some
I'm on
appeal
the
there.
fence about those two
I liked all this. I was looking forward to this because we got lots of different takes and perspectives.
Yeah.
People who not enjoying the season as much. People who are loving the season. It's about those TV moments. Is this a great cast? Is this an incompetent cast? All those things. And I gave up on wanting it to be the Survivor seasons, the type of season that I enjoy the most, or the type of player that I enjoy the most. There's just too many of these blunders from my perspective, and I don't want to hold that against them. So I'm just going for the enjoyment of it all, and I think Charlie has my heart as I want to see him pull it off because his approach to the game is one that I've long thought was the best. Adapt, keep the doors open, just be ready. What's happening? Okay, I'm going to adjust.
Not be overt. He's very, under the radar, I think.
Yeah, and he's not harboring grudges. He's not hunting heads or anything. He's finding a path to the end, which is what it's about. He's obviously got some social cred. Otherwise, they would have been psyched to take him out, and Q would still be in the game, and they would have blindsided him. And that did not happen. It just did not go that way. They took great delight in their choice, even though strategically it could have been their undoing.
I loved the Q blindside.
It was nice.
That was just beautifully done to me.
Yeah.
I mean, may or may not have been in their best interest, but I loved it. I just thought, oh my goodness.
It was the perfect ending to that
So
phase.
much confidence in both Q and Maria that, man, they had this in the bag. They were about to make one of the biggest moves in the game, and they were both just so excited and hyped up on adrenaline, and then bam.
That's where I think Charlie's got the superior approach, because after you get back from tribal council, you hit the reset button. Everything's even. You start working again from there. You don't feel like you don't fall for the momentum. You don't try to think that you're in control. Those things are fleeting at best. You're lucky when something breaks your way more than anything else. You're lucky. You can influence it. You can move the dial a little bit, but so much of this comes down to luck and the social connections you're able to make when you're pulling votes together.
Well, and I actually think that Liz would deserve to be in the final three, maybe more even than Ben in some ways, because she and Kenzie have really sold some of these blindsides. I mean, they went face to face with Maria and totally convinced her, that yes, Q said Charlie. Okay, Charlie.
How much of that is them and how much of that is Maria wanting that to be the case?
I don't know.
And willing to overlook things.
I don't know, but I enjoy it. And Ben, even though Ben does strategize, he does. And
yeah, we've seen him
Charlie.
engaged.
Yes, and he's just not always engaged. And he seems to be missing a lot.
Yes.
When people are doing things, you don't see Ben anywhere.
Right. He's
just gone.
Recharging.
Yeah.
He might need some distance.
That's why I kind of think that she might deserve a spot up, though.
You got to. It's an interesting trade-off to look at Ben's approach to the game, where he was disconnected, didn't want to do any strategy, he just wanted to vibe in the first part of the game, and then he's kind of hit or miss at the end. And you got Liz going wackadoodle, going socially off the tracks multiple times, being able to dial it back in, I guess, a little bit from what we've been shown. And so, how do you do the balance sheet with those two approaches to the game? They certainly represent a tough calculus to me to try to decide who's played the better game between those two.
Well, I don't think Charlie or Kenzie could be sure that Ben or Liz, who would they vote for?
Definitely not.
There's
as
reasons.
erratic as they've been, yes.
Well, not only that, but because they both are close to Kenzie and Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And they have good reason to vote for both of them. You could make a big case for Ben and Liz voting for Kenzie. You could also make a case for them voting for Charlie equally.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you decide who you want to sit in the final three with you if you're the one making the decisions? So,
I think Kenzie gave us a hint at that. She said the boys wanted to stick together. So I think Charlie might choose his Sega buddy Ben in that regard.
You're assuming if Charlie's in charge of deciding.
Of course, yeah. You have to start with a presumption there to see it either way. And now you flip it around. And I think Kenzie would probably choose Ben too, though.
Well, what would be really fun is if they did put Liz and Ben making fire and Liz beating.
Yes, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would rock. Yeah, that would be a nice bookend for Ben. Yeah, he could go write a song about it. Good stuff. Hey, thank you to everybody who contributed to the show this week as we head towards the finale. You guys did fantastic. We enjoyed your predictions, your analysis, sharing your experiences, your insights from your own walk of life. We appreciate that very much. I want to give a big shout out to Kim for your donation. Thank you. We appreciate that. That helps us with the operational cost.
And if you're playing in JSFL, remember to make your final 5 order. Your 5th place person will tell us who your 4 safe picks are, and it will be scored accordingly.
Assuming you have safe points left.
That's right. You would have to have those available on those people. Anything else?
No, I'm so looking forward to the finale. It's been a weird, different season, but I'm just super curious how it's going to play out. This is a different one.
Oh, wait a minute. You didn't give your final 5 words.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I want to see Maria go out at 5th because she gets beat in the challenge. She does not have an advantage, does not have an idol. It's clean that way. Bam. That's clear and clean. That's done. I'm cheering against her, even though I know she's got huge potential.
Oh, I guess someone else could have the idol and still play it just because.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Just to show they found it and they could play it.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. And for 4th?
I think it could be a lot wackier, but this is what I'm going with
right now.
From that perspective. 4th is going to be Liz, and then Ben, Kenzie, Charlie.
That's my order.
And Kenzie wins.
It's not Ben, Kenzie,
or
Charlie.
Ben, Charlie, Kenzie, if we're doing the order. Sorry.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Kenzie for the win because of the social component.
Okay, so you got a Kinsey win. That's certainly a possibility.
Kinsey cares for the win.
Alrighty.
I'm thinking of going that direction right now. It's those Kinsey theories definitely got me thinking a lot more. Okay, so we're looking forward to the finale. Good catch. Looking forward to it. We'll be back on Wednesday with a recap after that. What is it, 3 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after the 3-hour tour. Yep, have a good one.